In the previous segments, I've spoken about professional fear, what's involved, how we get into it, how we become irrational, and then finally how to get out of it. Now I want to address professional behavior as it relates to the family dynamic. In America, for sure, for those of us that, we go to school, we go to college, we graduate, and then we enter the workforce, and we're go-get-em, we're hungry, we're motivated, we're a lot of things that put us in a position to succeed. And then after we've been doing that for a while, if we have a family at home, we have a wife and children or whatever it is that we have, we begin to, or can, certainly, I've seen it over and over again, neglect our home life because we're under the false impression that that is always going to be there and that the love that is within that dynamic is always going to be there. This should not be assumed. The problem with professional life in America really stems from the fact that we spend so much of our lives working. I mean, from the time the alarm goes off until the time we're, well after we're home in the evening, some part of our being is still working. At what cost is the question? And how can we learn to compartmentalize our work life and our home life? Because when we get to the end and we're laying in the last bed we're ever going to lay in, and we look back on our lives, do we want to look back on a man or woman who was preoccupied with an occupation more so than the real reason for being alive at all, which is to participate in our lives, to love, to give, and to share? And we get sucked into this trap of, oh my God, if I don't do this, if I don't get this done, if I don't. And we neglect that which has been a blessing to us, and that being our family and our friends and so forth and so on. The other phrase or terminology that's used is workaholic, right? This is not something you want to be proud of at all. Balance is the key. And if your occupation won't allow you balance in your life, then you've got the wrong job. It's that simple. So it's very important for us to understand that we can get slowly now sucked into the idea that I need to constantly think about or participate in something that has to do with the company I work for or my job or my occupation or my business or whatever. Now look, I've been a business owner for 30 years. I just opened my second business at keithkale.com, and I'm already, helping people, and I'm doing what I'm set out to do. And this, like anything else, is a process. However, I have a life, 2 businesses, but I still have a life, and I do participate in it daily, emotionally, and with purpose. You can do this too. So when you're driving home, you should be unwinding in the car, not after you walk through the door, because your children need you and your children love you, and your spouse definitely needs you and loves you and wants you to participate in that part of your living experience. So remember, a job is a job. If it starts to dominate your presence in this life, time to rethink our value, to rethink what actually matters, and to make adjustments. How do we do this? Well, we are going to have to put boundaries in place, because look, employers are going to take as much as they can get every time, especially if you're salary. You know, having a salary and working 40 hours a week is one thing. Having a salary and working 60 hours a week is 20 hours for free, period. And they love it. And they'll pat you on the head and say, good boy or good girl. But they'll give you nothing. So remember your value. Remember to install some boundaries. I will do this. I won't do that. I can do this. I can't do that. Because our family and our love interests and our children are all incredibly valuable, because they don't go away unless we abandon or neglect, right? I believe in you. I understand you. I've been you. And having been on both sides of this coin, business owner and employee, I'm telling you that balance and boundaries are for your benefit, and your employer will not know that you've installed them unless they want something for nothing. Be well. This is Keith Cale.